China's $100 billion mega stadium wave just shocked FIFA, and most of the world hasn't even noticed. While countries like the United States and England spend years debating a single stadium renovation, China has quietly built more than a dozen next-generation sports venues in less than a decade, pouring tens of billions of dollars into the most ambitious stadium construction spree the world has ever seen. That's more money than the entire GDP of over half the countries on Earth spent on anything last year. You heard that right. And the first venue on this list looks like it was designed by aliens. Cuzhou Stadium. Imagine walking up to a stadium and not being able to tell where the ground ends and the building begins. That's exactly what happens when you arrive at the Cuzhou Stadium in China's Zhejiang province. Designed by mad architects under the vision of architect Ma Yanzong, this 30,000-seat venue doesn't sit on the landscape. It grows out of it. The entire structure is semi-buried beneath rolling, man-made hillsides covered in grass and native plants, so from a distance, you'd swear you were looking at a chain of volcanic hills. Not a professional sports complex. Ma Yanzong wanted to break away from the fortress-like stadiums that cities around the world keep dropping into their skylines. So he buried the technology underground and let nature take the spotlight. But here's where it gets wild. This stadium is just the centerpiece of a complex spanning over 17 million square feet. When the full build is complete, it will be the largest earth-sheltered complex on the planet. The roof alone is a 250-meter diameter canopy made from translucent PTFE membrane that hovers over the venue like a floating halo, held up by just 9 support pillars with a maximum span of over 300 feet. 60 massive concrete column walls, each finished in exposed wood grain texture, hold the structure together, giving the raw concrete a warmth you wouldn't expect from a building this size. Inside, the seats ripple in waves of green and white, mimicking the hills outside. Below your feet, there's parking for 3,000 vehicles, retail spaces and full training facilities all hidden underground, all naturally lit through gaps in the terrain above. The entire stadium was designed to absorb, store, and filter rainwater on site. Every piece of concrete used during construction was produced locally, slashing the carbon footprint to almost nothing. You can climb the exterior of this building like a park, even when no event is happening. It's open, it's alive, and it blurs the line between architecture and land art in a way no stadium has ever attempted before. But Cuzhou was just the warm-up. Because roughly 250 miles to the northeast, another Chinese city built something even bigger, and it did it with 67% less steel than the bird's nest. Hangzhou Sports Park Stadium. When you first see the Hangzhou Olympic Sports Center from across the Qiantang River, your brain doesn't register it as a stadium. It registers it as a flower. American architecture firm NBBJ designed this 80,000-seat giant to look like a blooming lotus, the same flower that fills the gardens of Hangzhou's famous West Lake, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The exterior is wrapped in 28 large petals and 27 smaller ones, all formed from a parametrically engineered steel framework designed to shave off every unnecessary ounce of material. And this is where the engineering story gets genuinely staggering. Beijing's bird's nest used around 42,000 tons of steel. The Hangzhou Sports Park Stadium seats a comparable number of people but uses 67% less. NBBJ pulled this off by linking the outer steel shell and the inner concrete bowl together at every level, so the two systems share structural loads, then adding reinforcement at the top of the bowl to dramatically reduce the roof cantilever. The result is a venue that looks more ambitious than the bird's nest, but weighs a fraction of what you'd expect. The stadium sits on a 400,000 square meter riverside site, and the 3-tier seating bowl opens on its north side to let natural ventilation sweep through while giving you unobstructed views of the Qiantang River. Around it, NBBJ built out a full complex, a 10,000-seat tennis center, a convention center, an aquatic center, all connected by flowing green landscape. This venue hosted the 2022 Asian Games, and when you stand inside it, you understand why Hangzhou was chosen. But while Hangzhou was perfecting the art of doing more with less, a city 500 miles to the south was building something that took the opposite approach, a crystalline mega-complex that lit up the Shenzhen skyline like nothing before it. Shenzhen Universiade Sports Center. Shenzhen screamed spectacle. When you approach the Universiade Sports Center in Shenzhen's Longgang district, the first thing that hits you is the light. The entire complex is crowned with faceted glass triangles that rise up to 213 feet into the sky, creating a crystalline roofline that looks like something out of a science fiction film. By day, the glass fractures sunlight into geometric patterns across the surrounding plazas. By night, the laminated safety glass and polycarbonate panels glow from within, turning the whole complex into a beacon visible from miles away. Designed by German firm GMP Architekten and built for the 2011 Summer Universiade, this was China's first real statement in multi-venue sports complex design. A 60,000-seat main stadium, an 18,000-seat arena, and a 3,000-seat aquatic center, all arranged around an artificial lake. The whole thing cost roughly 3.5 billion yuan. And acoustic engineers designed specific sound concepts for the triangular roof structures to prevent the crystalline geometry from turning the interiors into echo chambers. But here's the part most people don't know, and it's the part that separates China from every other country building stadiums right now. Ahead of the 2025 National Games, the stadium underwent a full renovation, upgraded LED displays, meeting both IAAF and FIFA broadcast standards, modernized facilities, and overhauled accessibility features. The Universiade Center proved that China could build big, build bold, and then come back a decade later and bring it up to current world-class standards without tearing anything down. And if this complex proved China could build a multi-venue sports campus, what came next proved the country could build a single stadium so dramatic it would make an entire harbor stop and stare. Dalian Suoyuan Football Stadium picture. A stadium surrounded by the sea on